I'm here with NFL free agent and former Packers wideout James Jones. He joins us again. Say that 3 times fast and you're good. James, you spent 8 seasons with the Packers, but I'm listening to you respond to what they're talking about. You thought the defensive game plan the Steelers had was terrible. Why is that?
Oh, my gosh. Well, you're talking about one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play this game, and you allow him to sit back there and you rush 3 guys, and you allow him to sit back there and pick apart a zone. I mean, you're not messing up any other timing. You know, that's what he wants you to do. All the teams that beat Tom Brady got pressure on him. When you talk about the New York Giants, when they had Tuck, they had OC, they had Strahan, they're applying pressure, they're throwing off the timing, they're bumping, running, and wide receivers, and that's what messes up, you know, these offenses. You know, when you talk about Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, you know, you got to mess up the rhythm. When you let them sit back there and, you know, you're rushing 3 guys and he can move around in the pocket and you're giving the receivers 10 seconds to get open, it's going to be a long day.
It's going to be a long day for you in the office. So speaking of one of the great quarterbacks, you played with one of the greats, some would say the greatest, depending on who you ask, and Aaron Rodgers. You had an opportunity to speak to him after the Cowboys and then leading up into this week. What was the mindset? What did he say?
When I talked to him after the Cowboys game, he was already locked into Atlanta. And that's why I thought they were going to go in there and he was going to play lights out and they were going to win that ball game, because he was just in that zone. And last time he was in that zone, we won the Super Bowl. And, you know, when I talked to him after the game, he didn't even want to talk about the Cowboys.
Wow.
He was straight on to the Falcons. He was like, yeah, we got to go get the Falcons. You know, they do this, they do that. And he was already locked in.
So you're saying he had that same 2010 mindset that y'all had when y'all won. And so you thought this was going to play out differently. What did they do wrong in this game against the Falcons?
They just didn't capitalize on all their possessions. When you play a team like the Falcons that can score on every possession, you got to maximize your possessions. And they didn't. They turned the ball over, missed some field goals, dropped some balls, and you can't do that against a team like this. If you do that and you get down in a hole and you already don't got a running game and you're one-dimensional, it's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, and obviously we see last night and all season long, Falcons have so many weapons. They get Jordy Nelson back, but Jordy Nelson wasn't 100%. You talked to him, and he said he was playing with maybe 3 to 6 broken ribs. You play with 2. How difficult was that?
Man, I applaud Jordy, because, like I said, I broke 2 ribs, and when somebody's pushing on you and you're getting tackled, it's like a sharp pain going through your body every time you get hit, every time you catch the ball, every time you move. So for him, you know, to break 3 to 6 ribs and go out there and play the way he played and have the game like he did, it was unbelievable. He's a tough kid, but it's hard to move with those ribs. Like I said, if it was a regular season game, he wouldn't have been out there.
Right,
he would have let him rest, but he had to show up for his ball club.
You know, it's interesting because people were saying the defense was exposed. Others criticize the defense all year long. But when they go on this run with this quarterback, you think he's amazing, but he didn't have, and Jordy, even though he played, he still didn't have that many people to go to. He didn't have that much help. We watched him out there by himself trying to be A-Rod and do it, but he couldn't get it done.
He was moving around a lot. He had a wounded Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams was in a boot all week, you know, barely practiced. And, you know, Devontae's an explosive guy. He needs both his ankles. He's tough. He's going to go out there even if he got to go on one leg. But, you know, he had a wounded wide receiver core. And, like I say, when we won it in 2010, we didn't care who we was playing against. We didn't care if we was playing at the park.
Right.
We knew that our offense was rolling, and you couldn't stop us no matter who you had out there. And that's how Atlanta's going right now. And Aaron had to score every time he got it, and they didn't. They turned it over. And
now, who'd you guys beat in 2010?
Super Bowl? Oh, we beat up Ryan Clark and the Steelers.
Okay, but prior to that, now, you guys are friends. I just want to say this, but you talked about a broken rib a minute ago. You had a couple of them.
Yes.
Ryan, I think my man here says you broke his ribs. What, 2013? You broke his ribs. You don't recall? We recall.
You know,
I recall 2013.
I'm just the guy that plays a little football, you know? I'm not worried about ribs out there.
We had a backup quarterback in Matt Flynn. He threw it up high. I went up to go get it. Ryan hit me right in the ribs. I couldn't breathe right then and there, but I never broke ribs, so I didn't know what it was. He tried to help me up. I'm like, man, don't grab me.
Hey, but look, do you hear about listen to the sportsmanship, though. Though breaking ribs, I wanted to help you get up.
You didn't know, though.
That's what the brotherhood is about.
He didn't know. But, yeah, he had me in pain. But I didn't let him see it. I popped up real quick, but I couldn't breathe. I didn't want to look at it. I I don't want to look at him so he see my weakness.
He's like, it's all good.
Yeah.
I'm good. It's cool. Ryan, you broke the man's rib. Can you at least apologize to the man?
I'm not sorry, though.
He ain't sent me no gift card, nothing, man.
He got up. Had he not got up, might have been sorry. He got up. He walked off. That's his fault.
So who won the game? Help
It's
me
my
out.
fault.
It's your fault. You
We
should have
won.
laid down.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter, though, because
Y'all
they won
won.
the big one. They won the one that counted.
Yeah.
That one didn't count.
That one didn't count because they
That
won the
didn't
Super
count.
Bowl.
And we
Okay.
had a backup there. No excuses, though.
All right. So how bizarre is it though? You see him and then we talk about broken ribs and it's so
this-
funny how
yeah.
these two words come together. Ryan, I'm proud of you, but not so proud of you right now. Proud of you and not so proud at the same time. James Jones, thank you for joining us. You were really
problem. Thanks for
great.
having me. Appreciate
Perhaps
it.
you can take Ryan's job now.
One
One
day.
day.
You can have it, man.
He's good at what he do, though.
I'm
He's
telling
very
you,
good at what he
Lewis,
does.
but does Lewis and Jones sound better than Lewis and Clark? I'm just saying.
Hey, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.